Y'all, I just entered the studio for like 3 minutes and was talking to myself and had not pushed the go live button. Um, I am so sorry for being late, and thank you all for waiting. And mods, of course, you know that you're going to get the double pay, the overtime, all that jazz. Um, yeah, we're going to take care of you here at Red Flags Productions. Um, I apologize for being late so much, guys. Thank you for waiting. Let's see. Ah, gotta touch up the lipstick a little bit. My dogs will be going ape shit here shortly because my husband, what did I do right there to smear my lipstick? It's a little heavy. My husband will be coming home and they're going to bark at that. And I don't know how to make them behave, so I'm sorry. You will be getting that double pay, Sarah. Hi, Cosmic Crazy. Hi, Days. I'm going to put this banner across the screen. I wonder if I can actually edit it because there's going to be a trigger warning for this stream. For a couple of reasons. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Hi, April Rain. Thank you for coming in. Let me sit up a little higher so that I am not being covered by the banner. So anyway, hope everyone's having a great Wednesday, getting through the week. Before we jump into this documentary that I've been begging everyone to watch, hi, Maria. I hope that, let's just talk about a couple other things. Last night, I did go, I didn't go on Siwa's panel, but I went in her chat because I did not like some things that Real Entertainment News had to say about me. And his recollection of the last interaction we had was not the same as my recollection. And Siwa, gosh, there's the dog wanting in, and I hope these dogs, I'm forever getting up and down for these dogs, guys. But anyway, Siwa actually she wasn't exactly nice, and I don't think we're going to be best friends, but she was respectful and let me say what I wanted to him, which I was too polite to say what I wanted to him in someone else's chat. Hi, Debbie. I know Debbie actually watched the documentary, so I'm excited. I was too polite to say what I wanted to say to him in the chat in Siwa's room, but he did a stream and he said, and it kills me when people say that I am the lowest of the low, the most disgusting person in this community. And I think that is because they make friends with people I would never make friends with again if they had done the things to me that the people had done to them or whatever. Like I have never called the police on anyone. I have never gotten someone with several cats evicted from their apartment or whatever. I have never, should I drink? You guys drink if you've done it. I've never, right? I have never called CPS on anyone. I've never tried to get anyone's kids taken away. I've never called anyone's job. I've never I've never doxed somebody's dead relatives. Your birthday is September 12th? Oh, awesome. That is my husband's birthday. I've never been accused of using homophobic or racially insensitive terms because I don't use them. I've, again, gone over the things that I've done that were mistakes. Debbie, I know we're about to get into it. It was strange as fuck, wasn't it? We can say fuck over here. But, so saying I'm the lowest of the low really bothered me. And he I guess kind of forgot how he got into a position that he was in earlier this year. And anyway, I went into Siwa's room because he was up on panel with Siwa, and I did not see. Yo, I'm gonna let the dog in. Hold on, or he'll bark, and he's gonna bark when he comes in. And anyway, Siwa and I aren't as good of friends as little Siwa and I here are. Jagger. And so I didn't know how she would react, and I just went in there and said that he did not tell the truth, and I didn't appreciate that. And Siwa did allow me to. She was polite to me, and she allowed me to speak, and invited me on panel, and I declined because I don't have a reason to go on panel with that man. I made the mistake of doing that on Instagram once, and it was horrible. He kept shouting, "Welcome to the live," or "Welcome to the live," at everybody that came in my Instagram live. And just, it was a total shit show. But anywho, and I know Maria's had a bad day today. Some things have been said about her unborn grandchild. Guys, like, it is just a nonstop hate cycle and just a vicious, I don't know. There are just some people that thrive on being victims, and let's not be those people. Let's, be good to people who are good to you. And if people aren't good to you, then fuck them. He thinks he's a star. Yes, I did get to listen to some of his rap album today, and I had no idea that he actually tried to produce Jodi Arias. Okay. Whatever circumstances he got evicted under. I, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion, am not the lowest person in this community. And it amazes me when I hear people say that. And the people that say that are usually people who make alliances with people that they used to think were really low. So anyway, what else happened today? It was kind of a slow day, YouTube ball wise. Oh, real. I had no idea that he tried to produce Jodi Arias as a singer, nor did I know he had the resources to produce anyone as a singer. And I love that journey for him and would love to see more about that. And yeah, he's been, I think, banned from a couple panels or something, right? So, and I don't even know, y'all. I guess I'm old. I don't even know what Twitch is. I'm still gonna ease into TikTok. Thank you. Hi, biatch. You're not the lowest for sure. If anyone's saying you're, thank you. That's Dipshits United. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. So anyway, I would love to see more about him trying to produce Jodi Arias as a singer. I did see something. I forgot he was on Dr. Phil. I feel a deep dive coming on, guys. I feel a deep dive coming on because this is not messing with someone in the community. This is a legit celeb. If you've been on Dr. Phil, I would aspire to go on Dr. Phil. I would love to go on Dr. Phil. So, but I was telling one of my friends today, the odd thing is that I actually am kind of fascinated with Jodi Arias myself, just because I like reading about true crime and stuff. And I reached out to her Twitter one time. Someone is running it. And they replied and told me how to write her and stuff. And I never did because I was like, would it be great to give Jodi Arias my address or whatever in case she I don't know how to gift memberships. I would do that if I could. Would it be great to give her my address and, but I don't know, like, if she would agree to an interview, is that a bad look? Like, I would love to talk to Jodi Arias. And, I'm not saying that I condone murder at all, but the show Snapped is a show for a reason. People particularly are fascinated with female killers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think it would be that hard to get her to agree to an interview if someone's running her Twitter, or they were a couple of years ago, and they responded. So I might do it and see, it couldn't hurt. It's not saying that I support her murdering Travis Alexander or anything like that. She is in jail. Hi, so you aren't the lowest. It's semi-safe in here unless I see you in another chat. And then there's going to be consequences and repercussions. Don't think I haven't been watching. So yeah, Jodi Arias is in jail for a life sentence. She's never getting out. Okay, so we're going to get into this documentary. Oh, first of all, I also wanted to tell you, I finally got a balance transferred over to my, well, it's not been transferred into my bank account yet, but it's the first time I will ever get paid from like YouTube. And guys, I am so excited. And I appreciate anyone that has watched, subscribed, done a super chat, liked anything, because it makes me so excited. And that money will go to something fun for the channel. I don't know, I said I was going to stop covering community. It'll go to something fun. Yeah, I don't know if we're all getting paid, but it's, if we split it between all of us, we're not going to have anything that great, but maybe I can buy I don't know. I'll do something fun, and I appreciate anyone that has supported through Cash App, Super Chats, memberships, just liking, subscribing anything. It makes me feel really good. Hi, Lindsay. So thank you so much. I've only tried, I still fairly know sometimes. Oh, that's going to be I don't know how we would even start on that. We'll have to go back to buy a pack of spells. I might do that. Where it might go to send Jodi Arias some commissary money so she'll do an interview. I don't know. I've never paid for an interview despite popular opinion. But anyway, so let's get into this documentary. And I hope I don't have to switch studio locations. But those of you who watched it, I think you probably thought it was as insane as I did. And I'm going to try to put it on here so I can kind of watch it while I recap it so that I don't forget anything. Because it's insane. That's the first question I'm going to ask her, Jen, is why she went brown with her hair. I'm not going to ask her why she slit that man's throat or anything like that. I'm going to say, girl, why'd you change your hair up? It was a hard watch. It was one of those. So I'm sitting there watching it, and it was one of those that just came back. That just I'll ask her that too. Like, what were you thinking? Were the glasses and the brown hair an act? I don't want to know about the murder. I want to know if you've ever considered an updo, or whatever. And what about the glasses? Have you ever considered a cat eye? And I have seen those videos of her singing at the Christmas pageant in jail. I wonder if she won. I heard that I did see a weird documentary about her and some friends she'd made in prisons. Anyway, so I'm going to pull up this documentary, Tickled. You can also watch it if you look up the Tickle King on YouTube, and you can watch it totally for free. It's not the trailer. Hold on. It's called Tickled, and
I can't tell you. So
let's see, preview.
A sexual journalist is weird and bizarre side of life.
Okay, so it is about. So it's called Tickled, and it's one of those things like it popped up. Like I was bored about, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And it popped up in stuff that I might like to watch or whatever. And I was like, like it looks kind of silly, but okay. And no, Jen, I'm not playing that. They can people want to see that. They can pay $9.99 on OnlyFans like everyone else. Hi, Sly. So I clicked on it. So when I clicked on it, it's about this guy, and his name is David. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, Ferrier or Ferrier. And he lives in New Zealand. And hold on. So I tagged him in this. His last name is Farrier. And hi, Carrie. And so he does like a blogger about pop news in New Zealand or whatever. So he came across this Facebook page that had competitive tickling on it. And he thought it was amusing. And he's a homosexual, if I didn't say that before. And that's important later on. So, and he makes it clear, like he's, out, he's a homosexual. And he's a pop journalist. He came across the competitive tickling page on Facebook and was like kind of amused by it and wanted to look more into it. So he started clicking on the videos and stuff. And it was all boys that were kind of like college age. And they all looked like kind of like this. I mean, this is actually one of the videos. So they all look, they're all kind of dressed in gym clothes. They're all in their, I would say barely 18, no older than 25, probably. And they are laying down on the bed, and one of them is usually sitting on top of the other one, tickling him. And sometimes there's 3 or 4 sitting on one guy tickling them. Were they younger than 18? They were, I mean, there was no one over, I would even venture to say 21. So they all kind of looked the same. And so, he starts thinking, is competitive tickling a thing? Competitive endurance tickling. And it was a very strange thing he saw. So he found out that this who produced this or was behind this Facebook page or these videos or whatever was someplace called, what was it? Jane O'Brien. It was Jane O'Brien Media. So he reached out to Jane O'Brien Media and to get like an interview or a quote for the blog. And instead of them just coming back with a no or something, it was a very aggressive response.
Association with a homosexual journalist.
And the response was very, it's called Tickled. It's a documentary. You should watch it. You would like it. So instead of just a no, we're not interested, he gets back a reply from Jane O'Brien Media saying, hey, listen here, this is a serious thing. We don't want to be associated with a homosexual journalist. Shame on you for belittling our very competitive sport. You are gay and we don't like that. Just kind of hurling some insults there. Hi, Brenda. And Debbie's and some other was I could unit too. I don't know if you're talking to me or he gets the email back and it's very aggressive and very very homosexual shaming, which was, he even states that's odd because the whole thing when you're watching it looks pretty gay. Hold on, now I gotta let my husband in. Gosh, here, babe. I'm on the live. I thought you had a key, baby. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So he gets the email back and he's like very confused because, again, it's very unprofessional, very aggressive. And he's like, okay, this makes him a little bit more interested, especially since the whole sport, when you're watching it, looks pretty gay. Sport, I'm saying that, looks pretty gay.
It was hard to take the insults
And that's,
seriously, considering the sport did seem slightly.
he even says that himself. I'm not saying that.
This
He's out on work release right now.
wormhole was getting deeper. I mean, obviously it's just for fun. Is it just for fun?
So he decides to go. Am I watching the damn? I think I'm watching the damn trailer and not the movie. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I may have to switch locations here.
I think you said Jane was doing our project using Tickled.
So, Days, was the whole thing on YouTube for you? There it is. This should be it.
I can't tell you that career out of look at you instead of getting a yes or no. I got this.
Actually, Magnolia's. Okay, I am going to have to switch locations because I have to buy it here. So, guys, hold up one second. I'm going to drop down for just a moment. And I'll be back as soon as I set up shop in another room where I have access to the TV. Hold on one second. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. My apologies, y'all. I appreciate your waiting so much. So I had to change locations, Mario. That's what happened. So I have hurried up. I have done that. Now I can't find the damn remote for the. Found it. Okay. I've got my shit together. My husband's out on work release. Yeah. He's used to just breaking into the house. And so I had to actually let him in. He didn't have his key. So, I used to bartend. So have a good shift. Hope you make lots of tips. So the first time I watched this was on Amazon Prime, and it was free. And then I went to watch it again today to kind of refresh myself, and it was no longer free. It was, you had to pay for it. So then there was another app called what was it, Local Now, which I'm actually glad I found because I got rid of cable because it was expensive as shit through Comcast. And anyway, y'all aren't interested in my cable package probably, but it has local news and stuff on it, and that's live, and it's totally free. So I was excited. So what? Please hold. Tickled. Okay, we're going to try it again. Tickled. Open local now.
All right.
Oh, it got it that time, y'all. Okay, maybe it's just being a little slow. Lord, I try to do some actual content, and this is what I get. It would just be easier to sit here and talk about what a biatch you know who is. But I'm too much of a lady, I guess, depending on whoever that guest host or guest panelist is on Friday. Okay, let's see. We're getting to the spot I need to be on, but this is good because now I can have it in front of me. So when he does, okay, back to Tickled. When he does this, he does write a little blog thing about it, and he and his friend do, and it gets some attention internationally, and they decided that they were going to, once it got picked up by an American podcast, they decided that they were going. Batteries in my remote are going dead. Damn. So anyway, once they got some attention on an American podcast, they decided that they were going to do a documentary about this and kind of dive into Jane O'Brien Media. So when that happened, things started went from bizarre to more bizarre. And so it blows up on the internet. They decide that they're going to reach out to Jane O'Brien Media again. And Jane O'Brien Media is still not receptive about this. And they start getting threats from Jane O'Brien Media. From this bizarre attorney, Robert someone, I forgot, who said that he was the lawyer for Jane O'Brien Media, and he was this kind of high-level attorney. But the letters were not very professional. They were saying he had just offended this porn star, and it was just kind of a bizarre case, and bizarre that this man was getting involved over this tickling thing. And it told them that they needed to cease and desist, that they were put on, it would be a multi-party suit if they didn't. They were going to face serious consequences. There was lots of litigious language putting in this. They were urged to seek legal counsel in both New Zealand and in the United States. that they should stop. So they don't have the money to hire this kind of defense or whatever. So they're still kind of intrigued at this point, and they keep going. Corn star. Porn star is what I meant. So, but my point really was that this guy was really a high level attorney. Like, he'd been in the newspaper and stuff. And so, anyway, so that he says, and he finally says that 3 of the lawyers from the firm are going to fly to New Zealand to try to put a stop to this. And in the meantime, he's still been getting like homosexual shaming emails from Jane O'Brien Media at this point, like using kind of the F word to describe a gay person, saying that he's gonna be sorry if he goes through with this, like not typical language. No, it's here corn, just that they were into corn. I don't know. Maybe they were into corn too, corn and tickling. So, I mean, they finally, I mean, in a lot of the emails that he was getting had a lot to do with him being gay and them saying that they definitely did not want anyone that was gay and going to hell like him for being gay associated with their competitive tickling or Jane O'Brien Media, and that they need to stop or else. So he finds out they wouldn't tell him exactly when they're coming in, but he finds out there is, I have to say corn. Gotcha. Sorry. So he doesn't know exactly, they won't tell him when these lawyers are coming in or whatever. So, but there's only so many flights from the US to New Zealand. So he finally, he figures out what flight that they're going to be on or what day they're coming in at least, and waits around the airport with this big gay sign that says, like in rainbow letters, "Welcome Jane O'Brien Media and so law firm," and stands at the international arrival desk. Yeah, it's really disgusting emails. We haven't got to the really gross ones yet. So he's standing there with this big gay sign. It's all written in rainbow letters and waiting for people to walk out. And so finally these 3 guys walk out, and it's these 3 guys that look kind of weird together. One of them I would describe as an older fat man. He kind of has fat, sorry, if I'm allowed to say fat. And he's older than the other 2. One of them is kind of middle-aged. One of them looks really young. And they're all 3 together. And he wasn't scared. Like they come right up, and after they've sent all these threatening emails and hate mail to him, and a large round man. I'm sorry, is that the correct PC term? Thank you, Days. He was a large round shaped man. He was in the shape of a sphere. And so they come right over to him with his welcome sign, and a couple of them kind of laugh, and they're like, "Oh, can we?" They shake hands, like, they're not here that they've not threatened to take all of his money and sue him and been harassing him for days and days, weeks at this point. And they all shake hands, and they say they're going to talk tomorrow. And then one of them kind of looks over. He's got a friend with him, this guy Dylan. At this point, they even ask if they can have the sign, and he was like, "Sure, you can have it." He's being, exceptionally polite and asking when they're going to talk. And they said that they can talk tomorrow. And then the guy, the large round man, kind of looks over, and he's like, "Are you recording this?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, in New Zealand, you can record in a public place." And he and the younger man, the really young guy, start getting really weird. He's like, "You shouldn't be doing that." And I'm going to tell you, the older man is like, "You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to go well for you if you keep shit like this up." And he's like, well, we're going to record it because in New Zealand you can record in a public place. And he's like, not me, you can't, and you're going to be really sorry, and pretty much just keep it up, buddy. And they walk away, no longer friendly. And it's just kind of a bizarre interaction. And yeah, they're excited about the sign. Oh, the older man is saying that he's not going to allow them to do that. And yeah. And he's not going to allow him to treat him with respect. So you can tell that the older round man is kind of in charge, and the other two are just kind of doing whatever he says. So they walk away. So they wait overnight, and they go. And remember, y'all, this is all about this man wanting to do a documentary on some tickling videos he saw on a Facebook page. He's not trying to investigate, the mafia or anything. Just kind of like, how I said I wasn't going to say her name, but I have to. But, he's like the male version of Jules, the large older man, like overreacting. So, sorry, I had to. So, sorry, that just tickled me a lot. So, imagine if you were recording Jules and she didn't feel respected. Imagine her reaction, and it would be like that. So anyway, they wait till the next day, and they go to this hotel for this meeting. And so they have the meeting with these lawyers, and they say, we don't see the video in there because they just put it's that type of thing. And so they go to this hotel room. We don't see the video, but we hear the audio, and it's kind of like, I'm surprised you guys are doing this. Like, I thought you wanted, it's very aggressive. Again, it's very threatening for what are lawyers saying, I thought you guys wanted to have careers. You're messing with the wrong people. You really should go back. You should leave all this alone. Go back to what you've been doing. I thought you wanted to have a future. I thought you loved your families. I thought you enjoyed being alive. You don't know the kind of people you're messing with here. And our advice would be to leave this alone. Again, this is over tickling videos. There's no porn in these videos. It's just people. It's just young men tickling each other. And so, after the interview, they're kind of spooked because they're like, they really don't know. And the guy, the large man, contends to, right. So it's odd that they've made, obviously this is somebody with a lot of money because they've bought 3 first-class plane tickets to New Zealand. They're staying in a very nice hotel, and they have come to talk to these 2 guys who were just thinking about doing this little documentary that just wrote this little article over tickling on Facebook. So they have the meeting with the lawyers. They're a little spooked, and just over what was said. And they're like, we're urging you to go in a more positive direction. We don't think you're going to be able to find anything here. We suggest you start looking. And then he's like, do you realize that your client, Jane O'Brien Media, has been harassing me, emailing me all the time, threatening me with all this, these homosexual slurs, all of this stuff. And they're like, look, we've never met our client, and that's not really for us to say, but our client has a lot of money. You don't want to mess with people with a lot of money. you need to, whoever's emailing you, we've never met them. We just suggest you leave them alone. And just a piece of advice, kind of off the record between us, take this lawsuit seriously. I'm reading the captions because there's a lot of money in this lawsuit. And they're like, well, yeah, duh. We see that you've taken the trouble to come here. So clearly there's a lot of money involved in this story. But again, this is all about tickling. And the lawyers say to them, whatever you're planning to do, it's not going to be worth the trouble. It's going to cause you in your real life. And hold on. And they're just kind of like, what the hell? So yeah, once it starts to get dark, it goes from like one twist to another. I had one of my friends, because I was like, somebody has to watch this. And so two of my best friends, I kept messaging them, y'all, please watch this, please watch this, please watch this. And they finally did. And she was like, I was like, what's happening? Tell me what's happening. And she was like, what isn't happening? Like, what the hell is going on here? So hold on. If this thing fucked up again, y'all, I'm about to throw a tantrum. A whole ass tantrum. Full-blown tantrum, because I don't know why when it does a commercial. So anyway, and they also are told that the company that they work for is not happy about this because they can't control the spend, just walk away from it. So they're spooked. And the next day, one of them meets up somehow with the larger round man. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. One of them. Yeah, fuck this. Hold on. I'm just about to do this. I'll tell you what I'm about to do. Because no one's going to accuse anyone at Lily Red Productions of being unprofessional. So I'm going to splurge here. Hold on. Excuse me while I throw a fit over the damn remote control. Oh my gosh, the bad part about switching this is having to do the other remotes. And not knowing exactly which one will work what. Okay. God. Y'all, I promise it's gonna, my shit's. Hi, Steven. Yes, please hit like and subscribe. Please throw a super chat in there so I can afford to have cable again, so I don't have to put up with this kind of crap switching from app to app. Like, don't you guys feel sorry for me? Let's see. Hold on. Hello, my sexy Maria, he said. Hold on, we're going to be back on target here in a minute. There's not going to be any interruptions. Don't ever say here at Lily Red we don't splurge, because we just rented this bitch for $3.99. So that I wouldn't have to deal with that other bullshit app starting it over every time I tried to fast forward or going through the commercials. So right now, we don't have to mess with commercials. We're going to do subtitles. I want them in English. I'm just getting all my settings right because I've splurged on this, and this is what I do for you guys. Okay. Okay. You are getting your double pay. You are getting your double pay. We have had to splurge a little bit to get this movie going properly and actually buy it because it's pissing me off. Maybe I just need to stop clicking things. Do y'all think? Okay. So let me go back to where I want it to be. Sorry, guys. Getting my shit together. Totally getting it together. We are professional as fuck here. And don't ever let anyone say that we take the cheapo way out here. Okay. So, back to when one of the guys actually decides, the guy that's actually the main guy that we see talking to them actually decides after that interaction with the with the lawyers that he's out. Like, they've scared him. They're successful in scaring him. He is freaking out. So the next day he meets up with them to tell them, and that the other guy is still going to pursue this maybe. And I don't know if he was really out or if he was just kind of making it up to see what they would say. And at this point, he's got his camera, his phone, and a coffee cup and recording what's going on. And we just kind of hear the audio. And he's like, you know, you don't realize what people with this kind of money do. And they start suing, and they're not going to stop. And you're going to be halfway through your whole life savings. And, you know, unless you stop this, you're going to be fucked. They said that what it comes down to. And this is Kevin saying that, and that it's in your best interest to stop this, and that people with this kind of money do not dangle people from buildings anymore because they don't have to. They can ruin your life in other ways. And so they're still interested because they're like, oh, all over. I mean, y'all, tickling videos on Facebook, and it was not even any corn with a P. I guess I can't say the real version. And it wasn't. So they're still wondering why they're so upset about this. And so they call him back, and Kevin, the main lawyer, the large fat man, is saying, you know, okay, well, I think it's smart that you're walking away from this because you're really talented and a really smart guy. I hate that Dylan is going to still pursue this because I thought that, and it's showing Dylan like with his family and stuff. He has a young kid, and they're saying, you know, I'm happy you want to distance yourself from this. I'm surprised Dylan doesn't. I don't understand why he wouldn't, because, you know, I thought he wanted to have a future. If he goes ahead with this, it's gonna get real ugly for him. And I would hate to see that because we know he has a family, and we know he's probably a good guy down deep, but, you know, we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do. And then they disconnect, and they finally leave New Zealand. And so David and Dylan are talking, and they're like, we've never heard threats like this in our whole lives. Like, what is going on all over Tickling? And so the guys go back to Los Angeles, the 3 lawyers, and the 2 guys making the documentary decide to go back too. And they're also have somehow heard that there's going to be a tickling audition at the same time that they're in Los Angeles. So they're driving around, and they're trying to find anyone. The producer of the film has kind of advised them to back off from contacting Jane O'Brien Media And they are trying to find someone who could shed some light on why these people are so freaking upset about this and sending these bizarre threats. So they start going to Los Angeles and they find this guy. And he's working out in a gym and he's a good looking dude. And his name's TJ. And TJ tells them that he met Kevin Clark, which is the lawyer. So supposedly Kevin Clark, or I don't know if he gave a last name to the documentary guys, but remember Kevin is the large round man, the fat fuck, the fat old guy at the airport that was barking out threats, most of the threats at everyone. And so he says, we met Kevin Clark in downtown LA somewhere. And it was at a studio. And at the time he was kind of trying to get into acting or something. And he seemed pretty normal. And that he seemed like maybe he was a little weird, but he told him to audition. He wanted to audition for this tickling. All he had to do was be tickled. And it was $2,000. And they were going to do it on film. And he really needed the money at the time. There was no corn with a P involved. It was just going to be him being tickled. He said he doesn't remember. They may have even told him that it was like some kind of military experiment or something to see about tickle torture or something like that, but that no one was going to see the video. So the video of him, has got cuffs on his ankles. He's laying on a mattress. He's got cuffs on his ankles and on his wrist. And he's laying catty cornered on the mattress. And there is another, and he's dressed in kind of like a gym outfit, a workout outfit. And the other guy there's another guy straddling him on his stomach. And he's tickling him. And they're told that these videos are not going anywhere. They're not going to be shown. And he was kind of like, hopefully it never gets out. He was young. He was getting the $2,000 or whatever. Well, then during this thing, 2 other guys come in, and eventually it's like 3 guys tickling him, and he's strapped down, and it's just kind of silly. And it was, he said that there were some guys doing this that he's even seen in commercials and stuff since then. So this happens years ago, and he is a competitive athlete. He plays football. Let's see, it was for, I don't know if it's college. He plays football where he has to audition. Years go by, and he doesn't think a whole lot of this. And he said it was totally normal guys at the audition, doesn't think a whole lot of this. And so as he's trying out for teams, and I don't know if he's in whatever you call minor league football or if this was college, but when he was trying out for teams, he would Google himself every once in a while just to see, where he might be listed in a football article or what, a certain team thought of him. And one day he Googled himself, and this tickling video from years ago came up, and, it was embarrassing. So he contacts Jane O'Brien Media and asks them to take it down. And the name of the video it's very interesting. The name of the video that shows up is TJ Gets Tickled. And it shows him like reading, and he's reading the cue card they gave him that's saying, my name is TJ and I'm in a tickling competition. The first question is, are you ticklish? And he's like, yeah, I'm ticklish, or, that's kind of a silly question. The whole thing's just kind of silly. And then he sits down and gets tickled, and it has his full name and everything on that. And so I'm sorry, he actually did not email Jane O'Brien Media. He emailed YouTube and asked them to remove the video. They did. So he then gets an email from Jane O'Brien Media that is very threatening, that says, now I am laughing. I don't think you've grasped the magnitude of what you have provoked. I'm interested to see how you handle the fallout. So far, badly. Regards, Debbie J. Kuhn, a new character. Who the hell is that? That's pissed off about tickling too, or about somebody not wanting their tickling video out there. And he said at that point, all hell broke loose. So then after the video got taken, that initial video got taken off of YouTube, videos started coming up everywhere, not only YouTube, but other platforms. I guess he'd taken 2 or 3 videos there, and they were coming up in like news feed on, everything, everywhere they looked. And he was getting threats that said, watch out for your family. Anytime you search your name, this is going to pop up. You've fucked with the wrong people. And I mean, it was just insane. And they ended up making up a website about him that said he was a sexual deviant with his name showing these videos, and had his name and said he was sexually deviant guy with a homosexual guy with a tickle fetish. And the web address, website even, right? It was crazy fast. The website even had his first and last name, his address, and his telephone number on it. And so then the school that he was coaching at started getting emails saying, you don't want this guy working for you. He's a homosexual guy with a tickling fetish. He's sick. He's a sexual deviant. What a freaking joke to have on your staff. You definitely don't want him around you. That they have information from, you can't afford a distraction as having this gay guy tickle with these tickle photos. He's involved in male tickling and tying up other gay guys and getting tickled. And it said at the end of one of them, what a role model. So the language in these emails from Debbie Kuhn, it's very snarky. Like, you're going to be a laughingstock. What a role model for your school. And it's just really crazy. So he goes on to try out for football teams and stuff like that. And he did have teams and people that declined him because, they said, you might be the best guy for the position, but we don't need this kind of attention. So it did impact his life, and really negatively. And again, why? Because all it was he contacted YouTube and asked for this video that he shot years ago of him being tickled by some other guys to be taken down. And it's an insane reaction. And this was years ago. And so he's been harassed. It's really impacted his life. So we cut away from TJ, and they find where they somehow get a tip on where this next tickling audition from Jane O'Brien Studios is happening. And they go there in this like black SUV. It's very James Bond. And they have cameras and stuff set up outside, and they're looking to see who starts coming into this tickling audition. And it's just at this studio building. And so they sit out there and they wait for a little bit. And sure enough, the guys coming in are the 3 guys that got off the plane in New Zealand and said that they were the lawyers. So it's the Kevin guy and the other 2 guys that told them they were the lawyers and not to fuck with any of this. So they're still sitting outside in the car watching. As they're sitting out in the car watching, they see all these young dudes coming in to the studio. and they're dressed just like the other videos, kind of in gym clothes, and they're coming in the studio, and they sit outside of the studio, and they can hear laughter coming from inside the studio, and then they see the guys sitting outside on, like, I mean, this goes on for hours, and they'll even see guys come out and take breaks and like sit on the side of the curb and just kind of talk and stuff, and they're like, what the freaking fuck is going on in there? So finally, and they're still kind of scared, right? And they're playing the audio from being outside, and you can hear guys kind of laughing, and then they see Kevin, the large fat ass older guy, come outside, and it looks like he's even giving a pep talk to this younger guy. They don't know. It's just all really creepy and bizarre looking. So they decide finally, and like they're still kind of scared of these people, right? That they're not going to just bust into the studio, because again, they still don't know how serious these legal threats are from this very high-powered attorney. But they go up to the door of the studio, and they open it, and they kind of stand outside while one guy has the camera, and it shows them like walking across the street, and you can tell they're nervous. And they finally get up there, and they hold the door back, and they kind of look in, and they're like, hello, until they yell like, hey, Marco, the name of one of them. And they finally come over to the door, and they are horrified that these guys are here. Like, they're surprised, they're pissed. One of the guys says, oh my God. He gets fat ass over, and fat ass is like, you're not welcome here. You're going to be sorry. Get out of here. I'm calling the police. Shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. He's asking if he wants any opportunity to say anything. They want nothing to do with it. Get the fuck out. It's just crazy. So they leave, and at this point, their producer kind of wants them to back off, because again, still not sure these threats and how serious they are, but they're really kind of more interested than ever, because why are these people getting so upset over some tickling videos? It's really crazy. And yeah, they were spooked, Days. They were super spooked. So it's like, why are they getting so upset over just these tickling videos and threatening to ruin people's lives and threatening people's families? And that one guy, I mean, his whole career, his job, and the video went everywhere. So they're convinced something else is going on, but their producer says, back off, come to New Zealand. So they decide what they can do is look up. They don't think at this point that competitive tickling is a real sport. So they at this point go to a guy who is very vocal about the fact that he has a tickling fetish. He has a whole tickling room, which it's kind of, and he has this younger man. It's unclear if the younger man, if his only job is to work for Richard, the guy with the tickling fetish. Oh, Siri thinks I'm talking to her and I'm not. Or if he just does it occasionally, but he gets tied down on this. It looks like I don't know, some kind of special chair where he's sitting upright, and his feet are strapped in and his arms are strapped in. And Roger's an older guy. The younger guy getting tickled that's what makes it a little, but they aren't having sex or anything. He's just, he said that he found out that he'd always liked tickling from a young age. If he saw something about it on TV or something, he'd get kind of excited. This is a totally different thing. They allow us to watch a tickling session, which just consists of this older man tickling this younger man, and him, which seems like it would be awful to be strapped down and tickled like that. It seems very weird. But so what we do find out, though, from this guy is that he had this idea back in the 90s to start when he found out that other people enjoyed tickling. He started a tickling website. And this is back in AOL days. And he started making enough money on it. Let's see, I'm trying to fast forward through some of this because this just shows what the appeal of tickling is to people. And you know, there's somebody for everything. But yeah, I would be going insane being strapped down there being tickled like that. So he says, I'm trying to get the name. So he said, this guy that likes the tickling fetishes now, he said that he discovered this back from the internet, you know, when it first came out, AOL chat rooms and stuff. And there was a woman online named Terry Tickle. And Terry Tickle, I'm going to pull up Terry Tickle's picture, had ads placed online that she would pay money, that this was not any kind of sexual thing. She didn't want any nudity or sex videos, but she had a real thing. She had a real fetish for tickling, and that she would pay big money for any kind of videos of tickling. And this was in the 90s. I'm trying to find a picture of her. Oh, I think I spelled her name. Hold on, sorry. Maybe I did spell her name wrong. Let's see.
And she just said that she was
she's interested. She's a tickling fanatic.
LJH girl, and she always posted the same verbiage. Put in what her real name.
Her real name was Terry DeSisto, and so when I tried it the first time, it was free, and then I had to pay for it this time. But I found it. I downloaded another app, but it didn't work well as I was pausing it and stuff during this, called Local Now, that had it for free. So if you download Local Now, you can watch it for free. So Terry DeSisto, she puts all these ads out saying she's just interested in tickling, no funny business. She wants videos of people being tickled. And this is what she looks like. Nice, pretty blonde woman. Oh God, Days, don't say that, because so this is where, I mean, y'all, this does kind of, to an extreme, remind me of our community a teensy bit if people had this much resources. But hold on one second. Sorry, I had to ask my husband to make me another cocktail since I had to change studios. So Terry DeSisto, she's on AOL and message boards asking for tickling videos, and she gets them, and she's willing to pay. Fucking batteries in my fucking remote.
She always had a picture of her.
And there was always that picture and that blonde pretty girl, and she was always willing to pay, and it was always the same thing. Not interested in seeing any sort of sex. I just want the tickling. And she kind of put the type of guys that she liked, kind of a soccer, baseball player build, and these videos were everywhere. Back in the AOL days, you could download them, and they were just very innocent. It was two clothed guys with one of them tickling the other one. And it was kind of the first tickling stuff on the internet. Some of them are still around. And so then that leads them to a new character, David Starr, who was a casting agent in Hollywood in the 90s and the early 2000s. And he looks like you would expect an old Hollywood casting agent to look, or one that has aged. And he was Terry's. So Terry Tickler is what she was called. Her nickname, Terry DeSisto, had enough money to hire a casting agent from 1999 to 2006 to look for ticklers for her videos. So the way he described her, and he never met her, but I thought this description was very interesting. A strange, rich brat is how he described her. But he never met her. And she said that he's someone that got her rocks off by being tickled. And he knew her as Terry DeSisto. They would communicate via email. He would hold casting calls. Oh, it says he even acted in a couple pornos early on. But this became his career in 1999 from 2006. And he would go out. He said she was looking for guys out there from about between the ages of 18 to 23 that had no problem being in these videos for her personal collection, not to be posted anywhere, and being tickled, fully clothed. So David why does this remote work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't? We here at Red Flags Productions need a new remote. So he figured this would be an easy enough job. He starts doing it. So, sorry, that's not better. And specifically, she just said she wanted tickling. That's all she wanted. And tickle torture is what it was called, where people were held down and not able to get up when they were being tickled. But it still was no corn with a P. It's just tickling. And that's all she wanted. And she wanted this private collection. And so he would hold these casting calls. And part of me thinks David enjoys this a little bit because it shows some of these audition tapes with the guys' faces blurred out. And they're like in his rinky-dink apartment. And they have to go through tickle tests, which I think David was kind of fucking around a little bit with this too. Saying that, okay, this is tickle test 1, stand up, put your arms out. Someone would come up behind the dude, tickle them. If they passed that, they got to tickle test 2, which was laying down on a table and being tickled by someone else. And this was like the kitchen table in David's home. And so if they got through that, then they would pretty much make it to the tickle videos. Well, so it turns out so during oh, Sly, thank you. They are. That wasn't any. It's not what that. Gee, I wish that I had a Subway sandwich. No, it's not what that was. But so he started getting these little letters while he was writing to her that she would be out of. These were written letters, not emails. And one of them says, December 21st, 2001. David, Merry Christmas. So sorry, I'm in the hospital with mono. I've been here since October and I can only write a little. I probably won't be home until late January or early February. I still totally want to continue the project. It's just on hold. please email me at, and it's blocked out for, please email, she's asking him to email someone else. So-and-so for me. His name is Johnny. I owe him $1,500. Tell him that I got sick and I will pay him $2,000 in February when I am well, if not sooner. I haven't forgotten anything. Sorry, so love, Terry. So there was a period of time where she was writing letters saying she was in the hospital, and why won't it let me stop with that minute? But she still was saying exactly what she wanted and was communicating from the hospital. So there came a time where David found out that Terry Tickler, was posting these videos that she had told these guys were not going to be public. She was posting them on websites online in the early 2000s for public viewing. And he got upset with her and told her, he had told these guys that it wouldn't be public or whatever, and that he wasn't going to do this anymore. And so that's when shit hit the fan for him. And he started receiving lots of strange messages and strange mail, strange answering machine messages. Hold on.
To say the obvious, they both really enjoy tickling. They also like being in control.
Okay, so she started sending out, she did what he called a phone blast at the time. And the phone blast had like this weird robotic woman with kind of a British accent. And she's like, hello, we have learned that you are, that's not British. We have learned that you are an associate of David Starr. And I'm quoting here, who is a hooked-nosed Jew, homosexual with a tickling fetish. Things are about to get bad for you if you stay as an associate of him. And these are going out to like his friends, people that he has no idea how she would even know how to get in touch with them. And so she's threatening people that just associate with him, kind of like if she saw him in another chat room. And so he thinks this is just, things just get crazier and crazier for him. So then he busts out this big bag of mail that he has gotten and that his mother has gotten over the years. And it is so strange and harassing. And Terry is furious that he is no longer recruiting tickle people for her. And one of the letters says, these are copies of some of the online posts. So Barbara is his mother, and it's saying that, dear Barbara, your son, David Starr, is a Jewish tickle filmer, and he's hairy and horny. And we've got his psychiatric records. We're going to post all of those on here. And she's using it as a tagline for people to click on it. So, she's sending actual mail to his mother's house at this point. And there's one that he hasn't opened that he shows us, and he opens it online, and it's a card for his birthday. And this was so creepy. It says, roses are red. Let me make sure I get this right. Red. Violets are blue. David W. Starr has, roses are red, violets are blue. David W. Starr has brought this upon you. Perhaps you wish, perhaps instead, that David, your failure, and not Edward, were dead. he has a brother that died as a child named Edward. And this is sent to his mother because he decided to quit recruiting ticklers for Terry Tickler. And I mean, he just has stacks and stacks of letters, and they're using the same phrase over and over again: hairy, hooked nose, horny. A lot of slurs about him being Jewish. And that level of detail to know who his mother was, or who that he had a brother that died, and the name, and doing that, I mean, that's insane. So they keep following the trail of Terry Tickler, and they eventually get to this journalist who started investigating her in the late 90s because she they started seeing the videos online, and she would start hooking these boys in from colleges. It was always the same, going to message boards and stuff, and it was always the same picture of Terry Tickler. And she would post on she would look for younger guys on message boards, a lot of college guys, and she would send them messages like, hey, I saw where you wanted to go to that Fish concert. If you'll give me your address, I'll send you tickets. And the tickets would appear at their dorm room. Or she would say, I'll send you $1,000. The tickets would appear. All you have to do is be in this tickling video. And, you know, since she's really producing these things, and she was apparently targeting James Madison University. So she got a lot of videos from there. But then eventually, when the guys would get tired of it and say, you know, I'm done, I'm not going to do this anymore, that's when she would start terrorizing them. And so once you worked for Terry, or you got tickled or recruited ticklers, you weren't getting out of the tickling business. She really had a problem with that. So she would start harassing them, and she would even do things to the point of she would hack into the university's entire computer system, and she would tell them beforehand, like, okay, well, the entire computer system at the school is going to go down, and it's going to be traced back to you. And then it would happen. So can you imagine how freaking scared they were? That's terrifying. And then there was this one kid who hold on, let me see if I have some chapstick or lip gloss or something in this purse right here. I don't have to get up. And I do. I always have chapstick or lip gloss nearby. Oh shit, that's not it. Oh, well, I'll live. Okay. So this one guy, she even started emailing the White House and having it traced back to his email address. This one poor kid, and the Secret Service shows up at his door. And that's freaking terrifying for him. And so it's obviously that she gets off on this power trip. And I mean, she would start posting when they said they wanted to quit, start posting them all over the internet. And even at that point, you know, that's when she started messing with like the White House, the university campus, all this stuff. It just got insane. So then we go to another journalist, Deborah Scoblionk. I can't pronounce it. Scoblionkov, baby, if you don't mind. Thank you so much. And she had wrote an article, and this is back when Bill Clinton was president, that says, "Tickle me, Terry. An internet relationship gone bad is no laughing matter to a Drexel student caught in a web of deceit. So this lady starts actually having a relationship with Terry where she talks to her online. They do like the AOL online chatting. And hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Before she does that, something happens. I mean, do you guys not? I hope some of you watch this because I told you this is bizarre.
She wanted him to continue making these videos, and he wanted.
She's talking about this guy where she sent an email to the this kid admitted to this kid, she admitted to this journalist, Terry DeSisto, that she sent sent an email threatening to bomb the White House and used the phrases weapons of mass destruction and caused him to lose several websites and internet accounts, used his first and last name, had it traced back to his IP address, got the Secret Service involved, all because he said, you know what, I'd rather not be tickled anymore. I'd rather not do this anymore. Is this not insane? So I think we've gone for an hour and a half on this, and there's still about 45 minutes left in the documentary, and there's a small part 2 to this. So what I'm hoping is that more people, if we stop here and maybe recap the rest tomorrow night and do a quick recap of it, that more people will, if they watch this later, kind of be interested and tune in tomorrow to hear the rest of this, because I'd like to hear more of a discussion about it. Like y'all's thoughts on, I mean, what would you freaking do? So this is what I was talking about, like when people are saying that a malice pizza is cyberbullying. Like, what would you... Yes, please press the like button if you like it. And I know changing content, gosh, if I was in here talking trash, I'd have all kinds of people in here. So it's hard not to do that, especially when you're kind of being taunted. And but I'm trying to rise above like the sweet angel I am. Yes, and this is only about the people we knew in the documentary. Yes, she was doing this to all kinds of people, and it goes on further. So my hope is that you guys, if you have not seen this documentary, that you do watch it, and we can cover part 2 tonight. And I didn't. I hope the band concert went well. I did not watch the there's a second part of this that someone told me about that's called The Tickled King, that's on Netflix, and I haven't watched that yet because one of my well, I'm not going to tell you any kind of things I thought about the end of it, but I hope it kind of gives some more closure on it. So I'm going to watch that between now and tomorrow night too. And I'm hoping people that maybe will catch the replay of this will watch some of it and kind of be interested in it, because y'all, I mean, it was turn after turn for me. My jaw is just dropping. Can you imagine like your job getting, well, some people probably can from this community, but your job getting an email being like, what a joke, he has a tickling fetish, here's the whole website of so-and-so being tickled. And yeah, I know, sorry, I got it. Thank you. I try to rise above. That's my middle name, Lily Rise Above Red. But I mean, this is cyberbullying. A malice pizza is nothing. Can you imagine having the Secret Service come to your freaking house because someone actually did hack into your email? They said that they were going to say you were going to bomb the country, and they did. And or having the computers go off at your school after you say, hey, I don't, thanks for all the money and the concert tickets. I don't really want to be tickled anymore. And then all of a sudden they say, okay, well, the whole computer system is going to go out at your school. And then we would like to, and we're going to blame you for that. Oh, I'm sure people are going to go live all night long. I'm actually going to be live. This is just hour and a half one. I'm going to be on here for 20 hours. And I'm going to be going into other chat rooms to make sure that nobody I saw in here is in those chat rooms. But yeah, like you guys think, I mean, when it spirals out of control and someone with enough resources decides to torture you online, they can do it. And it's a very scary thing when it spirals. And I don't want to hear anybody complain about a malice pizza ever again. So I have one more cocktail to drink here. And let's see. Let's see who has been live or who is going live. How do you know I don't have one already? Sleep is for losers. That's one of our mottos at Red Flag Productions. So yeah, so I know I know Zeus has had a rough couple days, guys. I feel bad for Zeus. I mean, he may have phrased some things poorly. That's one thing I don't like about what's been going on either. Like if you make a turn of phrase or something or say something a little bit poorly, it's twisted into a whole different thing. Zeus has been accused now of being a groomer, of making fun of women and their trauma, if they've been AR'd, I guess I have to say. And I don't think he is that kind of guy at all. I don't. I think that he, I think he's raising a teenage girl and is trying to do the right thing. And, that doesn't, I don't have kids, so I wouldn't imagine that would be easy. From my understanding, it's kind of a situation where he stepped up and is also kind of young and had to raise her, and because she was a family member, and I would think that prevented her from going into foster care or something like that. And it's thank you, Cosmic Crazy. And it's just, what does that look like? And yeah, he's also very young himself. And I think he's trying to do the right thing by this teenage girl. And I think he is doing, I mean, you can't. I heard some people last night talking about how he has his manhood spoken from. Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a double standard. He's had his jobs made fun of. He works 2 jobs. That's 2 more than a lot of people in this community work. And he is, I think, doing what he thinks is right with this teenage girl. And just because she's 18, to me, I don't consider an 18-year-old an adult. And I don't think there's an excuse for talking to an 18-year-old in a way that or anyone really, saying, why did your mother leave you, and stuff like that. Like, who, especially someone who's 18, and then insinuating that he has an inappropriate relationship with her. You know, there are different relationships. The dynamic sometimes is different between your aunts and your uncles, that you joke around with a little bit more than your parents, you know, and he went probably from uncle to parent very quickly, and had to, and you know, that dynamic didn't necessarily change overnight. And I think that girl is in a home where there's love and she's safe, and I think that's the only thing that matters. People are twisting things like crazy, and it will take away from the horrendous and sickening things they said to that other night. Yeah. Yeah, he did. And, you know, that's not necessarily, I'm going to give, gosh, I hate Siwa for making me compliment her lately, but I am going to give her I heard her say something the other day that I thought was very true. Like, this might have not have been the correct platform to ask about that on. You know, he maybe could have gone to Google or DM'd someone about that, but at least he's trying to help and trying to find the right answer, you know, and at least he gave that girl who doesn't have parents a home. And he's very young himself. I know one of his jobs is delivering food, so financially it's probably been difficult for him, and I think he just kind of let his temper get the best of him. When you come into this community and people are, you argue in here in a way that you would never argue with people in real life. You know, can you, and, you know, have somebody saying things to you that just make you extremely mad, then you say something back, and all of a sudden you're labeled as someone who disrespects women, an unfit parent, suggesting he had an inappropriate relationship with that child, or that it was his fault that that child was talked to like that, was really hard for me to hear, because I'm going to read one thing before I go here. I'm going to read the traits. The other day we read the traits of narcissistic personality disorder. I want to read the traits of they used to call it a psychopath now, or a sociopath. Now I believe the correct term is antisocial personality disorder. Okay. So a sociopath is an individual who enjoys taking risks for personal thrill or gain, disregards societal rules or the feeling of other people, and lacks remorse for their harmful actions. Whoops. I do too. Oh, I don't know if you're talking about me or if you meant him, but at least he's trying. And lacks remorse for their harmful actions. Says a lot of I'm sorry buts. Well, I don't know if and really not apologies, just it's your fault I acted this way. Says Vanessa, blah blah. At first they may charm you, but they lack genuine loyalty to others due to a deep-seated need for survival, often rooted in a traumatic upbringing. Although people toss around the term sociopath, many individuals that exude this behavior have antisocial personality disorder, which is sometimes referred to as sociopathy. It's the middle, blah, blah. Let me look for the signs here. Okay, so sociopath. Signs of the sociopath. Everyone is a bit egocentric, but people with this disorder take it to another level. level. They look out for their own needs first, and those would come before the needs of family or children or friends. The individuals are selfish and self-serving and use subtle or frank manipulation to get their ways. A double board certified physician in psychiatry and sleep medicine, at the founder of blah blah blah. They're antisocial because they don't care about society or others. They care about themselves only. While most of us have been selfish at some point in our lives, in antisocial social personality disorder, it is not the rule but the exception. Most signs of sociopath: callous. Most people fall along an anxiety spectrum where people care too much and may have anxiety. People with antisocial personality disorder care too little. But there's an added element of disregarding the impact of their behavior on others. Their callousness of this behavior can range from being verbally mean to physically violent. Not all people exhibit callous behavior in the same way. Manipulative is another sign. These types often lie and use people, sometimes to get out of trouble. There is a self-protective type of lying and manipulation. Other times they manipulate because they enjoy having power over others. Lack of empathy. People with antisocial personality disorder don't always feel empathy for others. Understandably, this makes it difficult to maintain relationships or friendships, and many sociopaths tend to be loners. They tend to view people as objects used for personal gain or to be avoided. This often makes these individuals prone to isolation, depression, and health problems. They may burn bridges with others and have few avenues for social or for genuine social support. Impulsive. People with antisocial personality disorder tend to take risks without any forethought. They may make rash decisions that don't take consequences into account and struggle with showing up consistently for others. The result, they get fired a lot, lack financial stability, and might engage in criminal activity. They are sensation seekers who are prone to boredom. This may be one reason they are more likely to participate in the signs of dangerous behaviors or steal. Fearless. Getting caught prevents most people from engaging in criminal activities like shoplifting, but those with anti-personality disorder have weak fear and anxiety responses. There isn't a stopping mechanism. The other day, I was comparing someone in the community to Denzel Washington in Training Day, as far as it came to come up here, do this, you better do that, bossing people around, kind of a King Kong ain't got shit on me type personality. And disrespect for others. One central sign of antisocial behavior is a general disrespect for others, including their body, feelings, personal boundaries, and belongings. They're also aggressive, deceptive, and not willing to take responsibility for mistakes. So abusive or bad relationships are common. Angers easily. Anger and aggression are chief traits of antisocial personality disorder. People may also display hostility or even violence. They often experience irritability and exhibit aggression or resort to intimidating or bullying behavior when someone sees through their facade. They might get angry easily and quickly if too many demands are placed on them in a relationship. No remorse. Someone considered a sociopath may act aggressively, disrespectfully, or violently, but they have no remorse or take any accountability for their actions. Typically, a person can reflect on hurting someone they care about, feel guilt and empathy, and take responsibility for their actions. Not so with sociopaths. They're more likely to show indifference towards someone else's emotion and even blame them for being too weak or sensitive. They may show a sense of being justified in hurting someone else because they think they deserved it. Lying. Persistent lying or deceit are classic characteristics of antisocial personality disorder. Someone may lie to outwit, outcharm, or manipulate someone for personal gain or just because they enjoy it. They also might display personality traits like arrogance or sense of superiority or being opinionated with the goal of deceiving or manipulating others. And there's not really a treatment for it because they don't really realize they have it. They're too arrogant in their own heads to realize that. So, with that being said, maybe think about who some of us know in the community that might be virgin on that, on the King Kong it got shit on me mentality. And I also felt bad for Maria today. I don't know if Sophie's intention, I don't know if it came out worse than intention that she intended, but saying something about her unborn grandchild, that it would be karma if her unborn grandchild had an addiction problem. And Sophie, you don't strike me as someone that would say that to someone in real life. Like, I don't know. There's just some things, no matter what someone has said or done to you, maybe you shouldn't say back. And there's some, I don't know. I'm trying. I'm not perfect. I still sit here and get mad every day. I get mad when I'm called the lowest of the low, when I know that's not true. And sometimes it does get to me, and it's hard to stay out of it. But I know, I don't think I'm better than those people. I know I'm better than those people. I know that I've had real accomplishments and that I have a real life and real friends, and that I have real people that care about me, and that it doesn't matter what those people think of me. I mean, none of us ever really knew the rules. We know who we've met online, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think, I mean, we know each other from how we behave online. How I behave online is not how I am in real life most of the time. I created this persona of Lily that is not, she's different from Katie. And lately they've kind of blended together, but I can tell you guys, I play up the drinking a lot. I don't drink as much as I play it up to be. And I guess that was kind of taken out of context when I got this label as being like this huge drunk. The prank calling, I'm I'm immature when it comes to that. Like, I have another friend, a good prank call for me never gets old. I really like it, but I've never I don't know. It's just people, it's just caring a lot about what people that you've never met. Right. Like Melly said, I get drunk all day, stay online all day drunk, and then I fuck with people. And I want to speak on that, but I'm not going to give it life. Whatever this thing is planned for Friday, I promise you I'm not going to address it, because I know that whoever it is, possibly they pissed me off and I prank called them. It's obviously someone who has some sort of axe to grind with me and is mad at me for some reason, if they are willing to come on a stranger's YouTube panel and talk about how I've wronged them. And I don't know who it could be. I have no clue, because I've never really, I mean, there's some stuff I've done that I'm not completely proud of, but I don't have any huge skeletons in my closet. So, I've never hidden a body somewhere. I've never been to jail. Have I been bitchy to people? Yeah. Have I gotten angry and done some things that possibly weren't great? Yeah. But it's never been, I've never vandalized, I've never taken, smashed out somebody's headlights or committed any kind of crime or anything like that. So if I've taken my aggression out by spoofing someone when when bitching about them and having some drinks with my friends and they want to come online and talk about that, then more power to them. But I'm not going to listen to whoever it is or react, because I know whoever it is not going to be a credible source. Obviously, we had a falling out at some point. So you think about people that you've had falling outs with, and see if everything that they have to say about you would be correct if they said it online. But I seriously, there was one person I kind of thought it might be, but I don't think that anymore, and I'll be surprised if it is. But besides that, I don't know anyone who would have a serious axe to grind with me, and if they do, then they do. So they're not gonna, I don't have any huge secrets, y'all. I really don't. I have some stuff that, again, I mean, don't we all have some stuff that we're not proud of? But there's no surprise criminal behavior. There's no, I don't know. So I'll be as surprised as the rest of you guys. And I am not going to give it life, because I thought so. You were suspect number 2. But whoever it is, I'm not going to I don't know, maybe I will respond to it. I say I'm not going to respond to it, but I'm not going to give a lot of credence to what they say, because they're mad enough to say yes to coming on this woman's panel and talking stuff about me having that I don't know. And I'm probably still pissed at them if they're doing that, because I can tell you there was a reason I did whatever I did. I don't just go around fucking with people for no reason. And I don't. So anyway, I'm probably, and I can guarantee you it's probably somebody that I didn't do it for no reason, and I'll tell you all the dirt I had on them, or maybe it'll be the gracious version of Lily, and I'll just ignore it totally. You never know, but I'm not going to cry. Whatever that person has to say about me, it's not going to affect my life. I have my husband, I have my friends, my real friends. I have a wonderful family and friends that care about me, and I'm happy. And this is what some lady in, yeah, Jen told her, and she can cite Jen as a source. And one of, in the grand scheme of things, what some ladies that have time to stream on the internet for 30 hours have to say about me, and have to dig up about my past, and whoever this mystery person is, it's not going to make a difference in my life. I can guarantee you I probably don't like them. So I probably am still not going to like them if they have to do that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will be just as surprised on Friday as everybody else. But I do think what's been happening to Zeus. I have talked to Zeus, and I don't know him very well. I just know him from the internet, but I think he just let his temper get the best of him, and was just very shocked at how someone was coming at him. And when it's someone, when he said the wrong thing, what is LifeLock? I don't know. When he said the wrong thing, then all of a sudden he's victimizing someone's trauma. When he said that he was going to shove his dick in someone's mouth who plays suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a big or large dick, you know, that doesn't trigger you, but Zeus did. So anyway, I just think it's frustrating to try to change the content up, because if I was in here talking trash, I'd have a lot more viewers and stuff like that, but I don't, because I'll expect that going into a different genre, or genre. But and it's tempting to talk the trash. It's really tempting to do it. But it's when I saw those 20 and 30 hour, they keep all of my personal info hidden. Well, it's too late for that, because I guess they found it. I don't know. I just know that whatever it is, it's not going to affect me that much. It's not, they can talk to who they want. And either way, I'll live and I'll be on here doing whatever content I decide to do. And I don't think any of them can say that they've had interviews or anything that they've done published in the New York Times or any other kind of publication. And I'm proud of that. And I used to be proud of doing this kind of thing. And I kind of stopped being that. And when I saw the 20, 30 hour streams, and the outrage at other people and how 18-year-old girls were being spoken to, and how Zeus is being portrayed, and using the word groomer to portray a man. I know that you should want me on here more, because I take all your business at the damn truck stop when I'm not on here. But when I saw those long streams and that just incredible reaction, I thought, wow, like, this person's not well. And when you're messing with people who aren't well, which Tickled will show y'all if you take my advice and watch it. Well, actually, no, that's not a good example, because those people weren't messing with that person. But when you're messing with people who aren't well, like, I would hate, it's not going to be me that gets hurt. Ultimately, it's going to be one of them that spirals and does something that they'll regret. And I don't want that on my conscience. And that's it. So I'm going to get off here. That being said, I'm sure I'll talk a little bit of shit, but it's never going to be. And I still stand by that interview. That was a very, respectable woman who had a right to speak on her brother's behalf. And no secret was made about anything I told her specifically that the impression in this community was that her brother was a pimp, and that he had trafficked girls, and that's what people had said about him. And that was no secret. So she knew that. So, I don't see how people can. And then it also started scaring me, seeing how many people were in there supporting that kind of behavior. That girl deserved to be talked to that way, and going on with these crazy theories like, yes, you were justified to do that. Back to content over here. She's a great speaker. I'd love to hear her thoughts on other things, but it's dangerous too. It is, and I think that's part of it too, is that she articulates herself kind of well. So sometimes she doesn't sound crazy, but if you look back, and I'm not diagnosing anyone, but if you look back, like, it's not normal behavior. And some of this, anyway. So in the words of Madison, we can just say a prayer, send good vibes, and go back to doing content. And maybe people will care about that. I hope that y'all watch Tickled and between tonight and tomorrow, and that we talk about it. And there's another one. I definitely want to talk about Casey Anthony because I know she's on Peacock. And gosh, I can remember being on like Casey Anthony obsession, having Nancy Grace on from the time I got home from work. Oh. Yeah, I was like, she speaks okay. Yeah. Madison is a great speaker, and she was and she's actually one of the ones. She made me kind of think about that. She's like, she told me, she said she thought that I was kind of talented, and she said, but why are you lying down with snakes? Look at what the Bible says about lying down with snakes. And I thought that was very poignant. So anyway, I am going to get off of here. I missed Melly tonight. I don't know why Melly didn't come in. And I am going to tend to my wifely duties. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to fuck with some people just like I do every night. Y'all, please watch Tickled, and maybe we can have somebody on panel to discuss how psycho it is. There's another one I want to discuss coming up called, and maybe it won't be documentaries all the time. This is just until I'm hoping to get some guests lined up and stuff like that. But there's another one called I Love You Now Die that's on HBO Max. And there's the Jerry Falwell son one, Godsend, is really good on Hulu. So y'all, tomorrow night we'll discuss the rest of Tickled, and then we'll go from there, and we'll all mark ourselves safe. Thank you guys for coming in and listening. Yeah, just in case he needs something. You can't leave him alone for a minute. Can't leave him alone for a minute. So I'm going to go make sure my husband is okay. I don't know what I'm doing on the internet when I have a husband. And this text, what text are you talking about? Oh, that were sent to, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get off here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe a little earlier, but check out Tickled. You guys won't be disappointed, and then you might know what I'm talking about. I Love You Now Die. That's it. Oh, yes. 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 I Love You Now Die is a pretty crazy one. So put that on your radar too. I think that's on HBO Max. Anyway, good night, guys. I will talk to you later. Everyone stay safe. Mark yourself stay safe. And have a good night. Bye.